Hi my friends, in the last episode I linked your activity with your mission in life. In this episode I am going to take goal and understand what it means. Anything can be accomplished if broken up into small little chunks. 1,000 miles is walked a step at a time. Now, whenever you think of a goal, it could be overwhelming. You may feel, am I going to write a book for 1,000 pages? And because it becomes overwhelming, you don't do that. So, I am going to help you to go step by step in your goal setting exercise. Anything can be accomplished if broken up into small enough chunks. Now, take a piece of paper and write down what is my goal. For this, you can take any one of your roles. You can take your family role, you can take your society role, you can take your organizational role. For example, you may be a Lions Club member, a Rotary member. So you can take that role also to work. Take any one role for the purpose of this exercise. So in 8 years' time, what is it you want to be in that role? Let's say that you are a manager, materials manager in a company. Or you are a college final student. Or you are a school final student. Ask yourself, what is that I want to become in 8 years? So write. At this point of time, don't be limited by any mental blocks. I don't have money to start an industry. I am not very intelligent to crack the UPSC exam. I am weak in mathematics, so I cannot become a chartered accountant. I don't belong to an affordable family, so I cannot set up medical practice. I don't have any influence, so I cannot become a test cricketer. These are all limitations. Forget about all that. We'll come to it a little later. At this point of time, write down what is your 8-year goal. Sometime back, I told you that a desire is different, a need is different, a want is different from a goal. I will explain how it is different. You need to ask yourself, is it specific? Is it specific? For example, I am a writer and I say that I want to write a book. Be very specific. What book? In what subject? What's your target audience? Which language? Specific. If you are a manager finance, if you say I want to get promoted, it's not specific. You say in the next 8 years' time I want to become a vice president. If you are a school final student, what's your goal? I want to come up in life. Not specific. It's very general. In 8 years' time, I would have completed my degree. I would have done my post-degree, post-graduation. I would have enrolled myself in this particular university. Specific. Is it measurable? You can take a task. Anybody who is walking, what's your goal? What's your task? I want to reduce my weight. It is not measurable. You should say, I want to weigh 2 kilograms lesser and the next 15 days or 20 days time or 1 month time, whatever may be. So, is it measurable? A goal has to be specific, a goal has to be measurable. The third parameter is it actionable? Actionable. Action is what? Activity. Alright, I say I want to write a book. What are the actions? I should be able to take a piece of paper I should have my reference books, put it in front of me, or have my tab or have my laptop, start typing. That is actionable. Supposing I say that I want to reduce my weight. Alright, what are you going to do to reduce your weight? He says, I don't know. If you don't know, it's not actionable. You may redefine, you may edit, you may expand, you can understand your details of actionable activities, but at least you should know this is this strategy, this is my steps to do that. That's called actionable. So specific, measurable, actionable. The next one is very, very important. Is it realistic? Is it realistic? See, sometimes motivation talks could put you in a cloud nine situation. Maybe anything is possible by anybody. At the same time, it should be realistic. I see Virat Kohli. I see John Biden. I see Muhammad Siraj. I tell myself the next 8 years time I want to get into a national level cricket team. I should consider my age, my abilities, my passion. So it has to be realistic. Anything is possible by anybody provided it is realistic. That's what I wanted to tell you. There should be a probability that you may succeed. That's called realistic. Last but not the least is it is time bound. Time bound. Any activity should have a start time and end time. Any task should have a start time and end time. If you don't have a start time and end time, it's not time bound. Now supposing I say, I am a finance manager, I want to become a vice president personnel finance. Supposing I say, I am a finance manager and I want to become the vice president finance, or I want to become the managing director of this company. It's not yet ready to be considered as a goal because it does not talk about time bound. I need to be very, very clear that in about 8 years time or 7 years time, I want to become a vice president, which means about 5 years time I should become a general manager. School final student, supposing you say, I want to become a surgeon, you should fix a time limit for that. In about 8 years from now, I want to become a surgeon. That means about 4.5 years or 4 years to become a doctor, a medical practitioner. Then you have about 2-3 years of postgraduate degree. Then you have to set up a practice. So this SMRT makes you to be a smart person. In time management parlance, we call it as SMART goals. SMART. Who is a smart person? Who is intelligent? Why is he intelligent? He has defined his goal in such beautiful way. So write down in a piece of paper these. Ask yourself, put a tick mark. Is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it actionable? It is realistic? Is it time bound? Once you are clear about your 8-year goal, the same question you need to ask. I am going to give you a set of questions. You are going to ask this for the next 5 years out of 8 years, the next 6 months out of 5 years. So understand what I am trying to say. 8 years, in that 8 years, 5 years, in that 5 years, 6 months. That's why I am telling you anything can be accomplished broken up into small enough chunks. So what are the questions you should ask yourself? If that is my 8-year goal, what should I do in the next 5 years? What are the educational degrees, diplomas and certificates you should acquire? You need to study, please understand, you need to qualify. Let's say that all the vice presidents are MBAs or all the managing directors are having a particular qualification. You need to consider that. and what are the departments and regions and products you want to work. Let's say that you are a supervisor or you are a salesperson working on the territory. You want to become the regional sales manager. You need to ask yourself, who are the regional sales managers today, what's their qualification, and which are the products department they have worked. Supposing you say, I am only a finance manager, I will retire in finance department. No, you are not worked in other regions, other products, other department. You may not qualify to be the CEO of the company. And the next one is skills. What technical skills? What are the non-technical skills you require? For example, the ability to communicate. If you want to become an all India sales manager, you have to learn the language spoken by majority of people. If you want to become a successful person in the Southeast Asian countries, you should perhaps know Japanese, you should perhaps know Chinese, you should have the negotiation skills, you should have the leadership skills, technical, non-technical. And what are the resources required? For example, if I want to become a test cricketer, what are the resources required? Money, a good coach. If I have no access to a good coach, I cannot become, I may be dreaming. So resources required. And last but not the least is, what are the clarification notes you want? At this point of time, when you are writing down your goal, whichever is not clear, for example, I say I want to do my MBA degree, or I want to do my MS. And what field? Let's say that I want to do MS in microbiology. Then I need to ask myself, which is the best university? I may not have an answer now, so you can park it here, clarification notes, to check with so and so regarding the availability of such universities. So you take your goal and write down your next 5 years action plan. Once you have written this, the next chunk is very, very clear. The next 6 months. The next 6 months, the same question, whatever I asked you, what are the degrees in diplomas, certificates you want to acquire. For example, let me take an example. You want to do your MBA, you should have registered in a university within the next 6 months' time. You should have decided on some change of department the next 6 months' time. You should have identified certain skills the next 6 months' time. You should have procured some resources the next 6 months' time. And the questions that were not clear to you should have been answered in the next 6 months' time. And so your goal setting has to be broken up into small little chunks. In the next episode, I am going to take a specific case and discuss the link between a goal, a task, a subtask and activity. See you in the next episode. I am sure you will like these episodes. Please subscribe to this channel and press the bell button so that you get your updates as and when I upload. All the best.